What's going on, people? Welcome to Matic TV and a new start time for our look ahead to the weekend. We're that busy, we're trying to squeeze as much content in as possible, bringing you something different every week. And today, I'm joined by the Tottenham craziness, the dynamic duo. I've got Ben, I've got Simon here with me today. You see me on their channel yesterday. We are Tottenham TV. It's here, it's live, people. Do get your questions in the comment section. Fellas, how are we doing? How is life down there? How is everything going?
Yeah, life's good down here. I mean, it's sunny. The sun is shining now, so just waiting for Jose's cloud to come and spoil it for us.
Yeah, the football's not shining. that's for sure. But yeah, things could be better. But you know, it is what it is at the moment.
That's it, fellas. It is. I mean, can't wait to get back to going together. I know you guys are avid match day goers as well as myself.
Yeah.
I've seen some of your pictures on your social media. I mean, the first game that we were supposed to come back to, or we did come back to after the last lockdown, was Spurs away. I've still not been yet to this spectacular stadium that everyone keeps telling me about. All I've seen is the pictures. Again, I'm going to miss it this season, possibly next year, fellas. We never know. But I think the trialing of fans in stadium is a massive plus. That's it. I mean,
I cannot wait to get back into the ground.
Mate, yeah, you know what? There's only so much live streaming you can do, isn't there? You just want to get back to the action and just do that, like just a normal vlog every now and then, just to feel like normality is back. But we are where we are. And speaking of which, I mean, guys, we've got to start with one man, obviously. We both have a lot to say on certain managers at our football clubs, but both of us on Jose in particular. And I've got to start by asking you guys, I mean, Jose's been in, his feet are firmly under the table now. We've seen some Jose traits come out in the press, in the way team plays, the way he's got you guys set up. Where are you at in terms of where Jose took your team so far from when he started? Are you in the positive sort of camp, or are you, like I've seen a few Tottenham fans, a little bit concerned now that old Jose, the bad Jose as such, is coming back in? Now, where are you at with it right now with Jose?
I'm starting to get a bit disillusioned with it all now. I mean, when Pochettino first got sacked, I was like, no chance do I want Jose Mourinho. I saw the job he did at Man United, and obviously it turned very, very sour in his last season there. And I thought that was just a character trait of Jose, which he carries around with him everywhere he goes, as well as winning trophies everywhere he goes. You know, you can't knock that on the side as well. So look, there are traits there which I liked. There are traits there which I didn't like. As soon as he got the job, I kind of jumped on the bandwagon and was fully behind him, because you got to do that when a new manager comes to the club. And I think up until kind of recently, up until where he's really started to show these poor man and management traits in the press and calling out players and throwing players under the bus, what have you, lying about Toby Alderweireld in the press last week, I'm really starting to get disillusioned with it all. And I think that, me personally, I think that if it wasn't for this cup final, I thought maybe he would have got the sack already.
I mean, I'll come to you quickly on it, actually, Sim, mate. I mean, Levy's not one to really buckle under the pressure of fans in terms of sacking managers. I mean, where are you at with it? Without the final, like Ben said then, would you be in that sort of camp as well, mate?
I wouldn't want him gone. I think in terms of I want to give him to see how he does till the end of the season. I think that's only fair. But I think he was going really well up until January, and then the wheels have just completely fallen off, and it's been very, very worrying decline. You got to say that, and I think I was still on board in terms of battling for top four, and if we can get a trophy, then I think it's a good season. But the way we crashed out against Zagreb set real alarm bells ringing, and that was because of massive disharmony in the squad, and that is not a good look for a manager who needs everyone on side to play how he likes to play. I think in terms of his man management style, I don't know if it's with the modern player or it's just with our set of players that we have at the moment, but it just doesn't seem to be working. He doesn't seem to be able to motivate these players to get them to do what he needs them to do. And Pochettino, to be fair, had a similar problem at the start of his tenure at Spurs, and he sorted it out after a transfer window, was allowed to clear the deadwood. But you just get the feeling it might be different this season. I'm like, whether if he's alienated too many of the squad, whether he could really get enough of them out of the door is a big question mark. And And if he's not able to, then I guess we're going to have to cut our losses at this point, because I can't see it turning around the way things are going at the moment. But in terms of like style of football, that like what I'm like in that kind of stuff, I don't really mind that much. I know it can be a bit boring at times, but we've had some good performances as well. I feel like whenever we have like a poor performance or like it's a bit boring, then like everyone's like, oh, Jose's boring, blah, blah, blah. But when we have another performance, like people like we've had attacking performances where we've scored a lot of goals. So I don't think it's totally down to that. But I just think there's a perception with Jose that precedes him on that regard. But I think in terms of how he's dealing with the squad, yeah, lying. That was the thing last week when he lied about Toby Alderweireld in the press conference, which was so blatant that anyone could see it. That was like, okay, maybe he is starting to lose it a bit, and that was a big worry.
The thing is with Jose, you know, when you're winning, there's no problem really. There's no problem at all with the style of football. But when you're not getting the wins and you're playing that boring football as well, and it's just like, come on, man, let's just make a change here.
Yeah, I mean, we'll touch onto it and how you guys see the Ollie area with United and stuff like that, but very similar traits. But interesting what you guys touched on there with Jose and the actual alienating and the way he's treated some players. I mean, the first thing he did when he got to Spurs that I noticed was rejuvenate Dele Alli. And I remember him coming out in the press and saying, Sir Alex Ferguson said to him, if there's one player you go out and buy, it's Dele Alli, all the good talk and everything. And he looked like the Dele Alli of old that would fit into any top-rate team in the world. And now what has happened, fellas? Because he's just nowhere near it. Is this just typical Jose? Is this what we'd expect now? And is this what you guys are alluding to, really?
Well, the thing is with Dele Alli, it's a bit of a difficult one because I felt that he had poor seasons under Pochettino. The last couple of years under Poch, he'd already started to, I wouldn't say down tools, but play poorly and not kind of be the Dele Alli of old like we know and like we love. When Jose first came in, yeah, Dele was one of his main men, scoring a lot of goals when he first came in. But you saw in the documentary, I'm not sure if you saw in the All or Nothing documentary, Jose calling him out, saying he's a lazy trainer and what have you. And that was when Dele was performing well. So, I mean, it was only a matter of time, in my opinion, before it went sour with Jose Mourinho and Dele. I mean, he didn't put the shift in on the training ground, as Jose Mourinho was saying. And if you don't put in 100% for Jose, he's not going to be one of his chosen ones, as they like to say.
Yeah, the chosen ones. Yes, it's not making Jose the happy one, but
yeah,
that's Jose. We all know what he brings to the table. But I mean, Sims, today you asked me a very, very good question, and I've sort of used that in the title for this one today, and that is, and I'll come to you on this as well, Ben, mate, see where you think, because you made a fair point yesterday that under Jose at United, we got our record points total that we've had. Well, record, I call it record. The best we've had since Ferguson left. Yeah. Yes, that's the one. Over 80
It's like
points.
Before Christ and after Christ.
Yeah, I know it is. It is that obvious, though. It's crazy. But we're looking at it and we're going, Jose got us seconds. He's won a couple of trophies as well. And you said to me yesterday, from the outside, and I always like to see it from the outside because you guys obviously look at us like we would look on you without tinted glasses and no favoritism. But has it changed under Ole? I mean, I don't know if you guys caught any of the game last night, but very, very similar to what you guys were just saying in terms of the style of football and just getting wins, you can stomach it. And last night, a lot of United fans came out after the game and said, we won, we're pretty much through. We can't really complain. But when you watch it week in, week out, I mean, from the outside, does it look just the same? I mean, Ben, I'll come to you on this one because obviously I spoke with Sim yesterday regarding it. But does it look like much has changed from what you've seen of United this season under Ole? Or past seasons, last two?
I think style of football is very up and down with Ole. I mean, some days you can play well and, you know, the other days you can play really dire football, but get the job done. I think second half of the season with Man United, it's more been the latter in terms of not great football, but you're getting the job done. I thought earlier part of the season, maybe you were playing good football, but in terms of has it changed, I think that the difference is that obviously I think that Ole got the players back on side. I think that he got the players happy again under it got very toxic at the end of Jose Mourinho. But in terms of achievements, I don't think that it has changed too much. Because obviously you're going to finish second this year. You finished second under Jose Mourinho. Jose Mourinho got you a couple of trophies. I think he got you a Carabao Cup and a Europa League, and Oli keeps losing in the semi-finals of tournaments. So it's hard to judge, really. I think from an outsider looking in, it looks like it's improved in terms of the kind of happiness within the squad base, but I don't think it's improved with kind of quality on the pitch, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. It does. I mean, he really needs a trophy. I mean, I suppose you guys weren't too disgruntled with another certain result that happened last night in the quarterfinals.
That's the game I was watching. That's the game I was watching.
Oh, I do. I have quite a few Arsenal fans who come on my live shows and watch-alongs, and it is pure banter at the moment with them because it looks like it's all or nothing. Pardon the pun, for Arsenal this season with that trophy as well. But talking about trophies, Jose is the serial trophy winner, guys. I'm going to have to ask you guys a massive favour here. Can you get your team to just beat Pep City to stop them getting this quadruple? Can you just give us that? You know what I mean? Even if you win at weekend, but then beat them in the final and everything finishes how we expect it to finish up. I mean, it is massively difficult. Where I work, it's like an open shop. So I get tons of City fans coming in, and you know what? You know they're a City fan because they wear the shirt. They just wear the shirt everywhere. It's like they've come out the woodwork all of a sudden. They're all over the place, and we will not be able to live it down. Is there any chance that you could just nip in and take one away? And I mean, Sinmay, are you confident in that final? Is Jose got enough for one game to do Pep? He's done him once already this season, but the way the squad is at the moment, like you guys said then, is there any discontent behind the scenes? What's going on with the squad? Can you do it? Can you beat Pep Guardiola's City?
At the time we got to the final back in January, I think we were all confident we're actually going to win the final. I think if you speak to all the fans, I remember the time when we got to the final, just beat Brentford in the semis, everyone was so confident we were going to beat Man City. We were near the top of the league. Everyone was flying high. And now that they moved the final to April, and now you ask any Tottenham fan, not one fan is confident we're going to win this final. Not one fan has any hope that we're going to even touch City in this final, especially the way the game went when we played them in the Etihad recently. Obviously, we beat them earlier in the season 2-0 with a real counter-attacking display. That was a real great defensive display by Tottenham. But the one at Man City we got completely dominated. They battered us. They beat us 3-0. Could have been even worse. And that is the worry going into this final. Obviously, in a one-off game, Jose knows how to approach these finals. Usually, he's done it in the past. So you can't rule it out. And obviously, we do have players who on top of their game can hurt anyone in Kane and Son and whatnot. If we are on our game defensively, like we were back in November or October, we beat them. Then there's always a chance. But the way we're playing in the moment, there's just doesn't seem to be any hope in the form that we're going into this game as of now. Obviously, there's quite a long way. There's another 3 games in between. So if we do have a little run in the Man United, Everton and Southampton games, then maybe the confidence could be up. But as things stand now, if we're playing this game tomorrow, there'll be no chance to win this game.
I mean, Ben, Jose usually is the master at sort of prioritising a certain competition, and we all know that Jose wants this trophy. He needs it for his own reputation as well, and obviously because Spurs haven't won anything in a long time. Sorry to put that in there, guys, but it's just true. Yeah, no worries. But you guys really need to get in the Champions League as well. So it's not like he can rest players out at the moment for, like you said, with these next 3 games. He has to keep winning because the top 4 is wide open. Everyone is just tripping over everyone at the moment. The 3 London clubs, Chelsea, West Ham and Spurs, just keep falling over each other, it would seem. No one wants to get in to that top 4. But looking towards the final, where do you think Jose's head's at? Do you reckon the way he's come out and slaughtered some of the players, well, not slaughtered, but we know what I mean by Jose, the way he pulls people out in public. Do you reckon he's got enough in this squad to make top 4 and get this cup final and get this win for Spurs?
I don't know, mate. It's really difficult one to say because, I have literally lost the majority of faith I have in this squad. I really have. I mean, the defense is absolutely shocking. I mean, mistake after mistake after mistake, and it's just so hard to watch week in, week out. I mean, I don't think he can look too much at the final right now. We got to take it game by game. In my opinion, that the top four. Oh, one sec.
Oh, sorry, 1 second, Adam.
No problem, mate.
Oh, Jesus. There we go.
Lovely. He's back.
Yeah, we're back. Apologies.
Sorry about that, mate. The camera turned off.
All right.
No, well, I was saying that I think that top four is actually a lot more important for us than winning this Carabao Cup. So if we were to prioritise any of them, I would prioritise getting into the top four. I think that this club really needs Champions League football next year to kick on. But look, as much as I want to win this trophy, like I said, I think top four should be our kind of bread and butter this season. But, you know, it takes me back to 2008 when we played Chelsea in the final. The last time we won a cup, me and my brother were both there at Wembley that day. And nobody gave Spurs a chance in hell that day either when we played Chelsea, a really high-flying Chelsea. And we, you know, on the day, anything can happen. So I think
the gap between the teams then were bigger than it is now with
exactly,
City, probably.
Exactly. So I think that in terms of where our head's at, I think that we need to concentrate on the league first and foremost. Anything can happen on a one-off day in the cup final.
I reckon Jose prioritises the cup in his head.
You reckon?
Yeah. Because he wins he has this thing about winning a trophy at every club he manages. And I think that's what he's prioritising.
Yeah, that's it. And he will say, look, I brought you a trophy. That's what I do. But that stadium, everything that comes with it, guys, it needs Champions League football, surely, doesn't it? I mean,
100%.
Like Ben, you said you'd rather have Champions League
coming season. But if we get top four, even without a trophy, that's kind of par-ish or just under par. So I think that will be a more acceptable season, in my opinion. I think obviously we're all desperate for a trophy. Everyone knows that. We all Spurs fans. It's been so long since we got any silverware that we're all clamoring for a trophy. But having this brand new stadium and having Europa League football in there, or even UEFA Conference football, whatever that is in there, like that is just not where the club want to be. It's not where the fans want to be either. And it's embarrassing when you have like ludigrets come to this stadium and we have to like play them, and it's just like this isn't the standard. Like it's like when we're in the group stages, it's just like, well, what? It's just useless. It's like, what's the point of these ties? Like it was too easy at times. These kind of ties. Obviously, the whole tournament isn't, and it takes a lot to win it, but I feel like players like Kane and Son, if we're going to really convince them that this is a club with ambition and going somewhere, then we need Champions League football. We need to get back to where we were. Otherwise, we're just not heading in the right direction.
I mean, the trophy I really wanted this year was the Europa League. I mean, a European trophy, get into the Champions League like that, it kind of ticked all the boxes. But back on your question, is top four only a successful season? I don't think it is. I think it's acceptable because it's a tick off a box that we need to get Champions League. But, you know, for years and years, we brought Jose Mourinho in to win trophies and to get top four, not one or the other. It needs to be both.
Yeah, true. I mean, the Europa League is that competition. I look at it as internationals, me. The group stages and some of the last 32 rounds and stuff like that are like the build up to a big tournament. I'm only really interested when it gets to the last day, or you're pretty much in it. It's like when England get to a major competition final and everyone's in on it, but the early stages of it, they're so grinding, and seriously, it interrupts my week. It's Thursday, Sunday football just kills the week dead for me. It's absolutely horrible. And just to have Saturday, Wednesday back and feel normal, and then the odd big game on a Sunday, that's great. It just gives you a better feeling when you're in the Europa League. I don't know if you guys feel the same, but the Thursday, Sunday, it just seems like you're second rate. It doesn't feel like 100%. You're relevant. It's weird. It just doesn't feel.
You are second rate. That's the truth.
But it is second rate. And bloody, what's going to happen next season with this Europa Conference League? When are they going to play those games? Like 2 a.m. on Friday or something? Like who knows when they're going to play these games?
Crazy. Well, if UEFA have their way and they do extend the Champions League places to top 6, you guys should be comfortable at least. Levy's going to be a happy man, isn't he?
Don't speak too soon, mate. Don't speak too soon.
Oh, I know. Anyway, guys, getting into what is the game this weekend. And looking at it, form-wise in the league, United 3 wins in a row. You would say we're in great form. But honestly, I said this yesterday to Sam. I said, we're going into this game, I don't think with any major confidence at all. Looking at the way we're playing, we're literally hanging on by a thread in terms of injuries, especially in our front line. And as you've seen it last night with United, or you've probably seen highlights, the only highlights you would see if you watched United last night was the goals. because nothing else happened in between then. It was just that poor, apart from a naked man running on the pitch. That was probably the only highlight we had somehow.
How was Big Bobby Soldado last night?
Oh, do you know what, man? He looks younger than when he was at York. It's ridiculous. The guy doesn't age. He's absolutely. Do you know what? You could tell he was showing his age last night. But leading into this game, I said this yesterday to Sim. Europa League, then playing on a Sunday, it kills us. It absolutely. We're living literally right now on the edge in terms of fitness. Anyway, I just feel like this plays into Jose's hands a lot more. I mean, Ben, where are you at in terms of this game? Do you see it being a Jose masterclass, a defensive setup, and using your big guns up front? Because we all know what happened last time us two met. It's something I want to forget very quickly. Even if we didn't get a player sent off, I still think he would have battered us that day at Old Trafford early on in the season. But
yeah,
how do you see the game going down tomorrow, mate? How do you see Jose approaching it with the Spurs team?
I think he will go pragmatic. I think we'll sit a lot of players behind the ball, try hit you on the break with Kane and Son, obviously. A bit similar than, at Old Trafford, we did that to a certain extent, but we just kept pummeling you at Old Trafford and getting goal after goal. Ended up winning 6-1, which was absolutely insane score. But look, I just have no confidence going into this game whatsoever. The way I look at Man United is that you're not playing well, but you just seem to be getting past games, getting over the line, getting those 3 points. So in terms of that, I can just see maybe a 1-0 to Man United where it's just going to be a boring game. Both teams not really going for it. Both teams not really providing positively into the game, and United just stumbling over the line, to be honest. I think it's going to... I'm just really not looking forward to this game at all, mate. I really not.
No, that pretty much is for both. I mean, Sim, mate, if you looking forward to it, or do you see it like Ben does there?
I think in obviously our recent form, I'm not looking forward to it. I do think Man United are opponents where maybe it could give Jose and the team a bit of extra motivation to put in a performance. That's the only positive I can look at. I think in terms of the United team, I think, as you say, you play Thursday night. I think obviously you got Bruno, you got Rashford, but apart from them two, I think Martial has been out for a while. Greenwood's had a hot and cold season. Cavani has been in and out of the team. So I can see you struggling to score on Sunday. I can. But then are we going to be able to have enough threat going the other way as well? That's the big question. I can even see a 0-0 in this game. That's what I'm worried about. I can even see that being very, very possible. I'm not confident we'll win. I wouldn't be completely shocked if we do, but I'm not confident that we are. I think at the moment, this has a bit of a draw written all over it. I think even the way United play is easily very conducive to this game being a draw. But if United do take the lead, and if United, especially in the first half, I do see us struggling big time to get back in the game, because that's something we've definitely struggled with. So I'm not completely lost all hope that we're not going to get anything, but I think it's looking unlikely we're going to get all 3 points, which we do need if we're going to get top 4, really. A draw isn't really good enough, to be honest, in this game for us.
Look, at the end of the day, if you score first, I don't trust us to get back into the game and go on and win the game. Maybe a draw.
And if we score first,
I don't trust us to hold on to that lead till the end of the game. So, I mean, I'm just completely fed up with this squad.
Maybe it's 0-0 going into the last 5 minutes. Maybe we have a chance.
Yeah, that's the only chance I think we got.
That's it. You know what? He pretty much took the words out of my mouth there. The first team to score a goal, and then how they then approach it. Because I think that's the problem we've had in terms of killing teams off. We've conceded plenty of late goals this season as well. I know you guys probably even more than us, but that first goal...
You've scored quite a lot of late goals this season, haven't you?
We've scored a few. We conceded a few. There's a few that come to mind. I mean, what did we do? I mean, even the simple things like when we went behind early to West Brom. I mean, West Brom. And then we got the equaliser in the same half. But then we never really looked like we wanted to go and win the game. It's them moments probably more than the conceding of the last-minute goals. And it's just that. I think it's a mentality thing, a big mentality thing. And that's why it's sort of... I mean, I thought, looking at it, what did I say? I think I went 2-2 for the game, because I could see I was working it on Tottenham needing to go for a win, because you guys need top 4. I think that's where I got my 2 goals for Tottenham. But then I thought, with Tottenham coming out and trying to do that, they may leave more gaps than usual at the back. And that's where someone like a Rashford or Bruno can exploit, and Pogba definitely if he's playing. I think it all comes down to team selection for us as well. I mean, in terms of this United team, anyone in particular, guys, who you're sort of fearful of, the way you're playing at the moment, you think can open up Spurs or make you look stupid?
Yeah, I think for me, Marcus Rashford has got to be one of the main ones. I think the way he plays football, he's getting over the line a lot, scoring a lot of goals recently. Bruno Fernandes is a strange one because I think he's been a bit quiet recently, and I think he's been a bit quiet in the big games against the top 6 this season as well. So I'm actually more fearful of Rashford than I am of Bruno, but I am fearful of both of them, to be fair. And I'm not sure if Luke Shaw's going to play. I'm not sure if he's injured or not, but I think he's been a top quality left back.
He got a yellow card, so he's suspended for the second leg. So Ollie just took him off for the sake of it yesterday. So I think Shaw will definitely play, which is good for us because, like you said, he's probably in behind Bruno's probably been our best player this season. He's been immense. I mean, Bruno against the top 6. Well, if you went on this year's top 6, he's not done too bad. It's the so-called top 6 that everyone's talking about.
The big 6.
Yeah, the big 6, the big stadium, the big spending 6. You could say, well, Arsenal don't even come into that anymore. They're not even big spenders. But you look at it and you go, yeah, I can see that with Bruno. He has been sort of on the peripheral, not as good. But I mean, me and you talked about this yesterday, Sim. I don't think there's one player this season who's dealt with what we've got this season in terms of no pre-season, internationals and whatnot, the amount of games. Hey, everyone's going to get big dips in form for a season. I think this one in particular, mate, I mean, you guys have seen it with a few of your players as well. It's a tough season to stay bang on it all the way through, isn't it?
Everyone's lacked consistency this season. We've seen that, except for Man City, or even them had a pretty dodgy start as well up until December. Yeah. They were very inconsistent. Then they did find their rhythm once. Maybe they get all their players back, and they've got such an amazing squad. They could just rotate and not lose any quality. But for the most of the other teams in the league, we've found consistency very, very hard to come by, and it's been very difficult to sustain a level of performance. And that is what I think we've seen with majority of teams and players this season. So I think a lot of times this season, especially, players are getting criticised for lethargic performances or looking anonymous in certain games. But I just think it seems to be a Premier League problem as opposed to like an individual player's problem. And I know Bruno has had a few games where he's looked really off it and he's misplacing a lot of passes and whatnot. But I think that's just how it is in this current league at the moment, that he's just going to have dips in form. And I completely agree with that. In terms of Man United, it'll be interesting to see how they set up, if they start with Pogba or not. Because I remember they started with Pogba in the 6-1. And I think I remember he had an absolute shocker that game. But I think since then, you've pretty much, in the bigger games, preferred McTominay and Fred in the centre with Bruno a bit further forward. So whether you do that again on Sunday, that's going to be interesting. Because I think if you do that, I can't see us getting any joy. I think we kind of need Pogba to play in a weird way, because I think if Pogba plays, we have more of a chance of getting something, a goal the other way. Right? Where if you have Fred and McTominay there, I think you're going to be able to have to shield that defence pretty effectively, and I can't see us getting much joy.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, fellas, if Ollie reverted to putting Pogba in the front 4 somewhere out on the left and playing the McFred. Anyway, so Pogba could still play, and Ollie could easily just put McFred in there in front of our back line just for extra protection. That is something, especially with Martial being out, and I don't think Dan James is going to play in this game. I don't think Cavani will start either. So Pogba could be part of that front 3 out on the left-hand side, where he has played at times this season. Not done too bad, but doesn't have the same influence for the way Pogba wants to play, a lot of United fans would say. So it's going to be interesting team selection-wise how he approaches it. I said I don't expect a good quality game. I really don't. I expect it to be, like you guys said then, lethargic, sort of just stagnated, not going above and beyond. It's just a case of being pragmatic and getting a result, I think, any way, shape or form. I think that's how the game's going to go down. That's what United fans are expecting. We're not expecting any sort of high-class quality game. I think you guys are in the same boat, really. I think
100%.
Looking at it. But Ben, like Sim said yesterday, can you see Ole being done by Jose? Is Jose going to stop our unbeaten away run this season, or is it a case you've just lost hope and United are going to come to town and get a stink-out draw?
I mean, the way I look at it, as I think that your players and your manager are really going to want to get revenge for the way we battered you earlier on the season. I genuinely believe
you would
that.
hope so.
I genuinely believe that's the case. And I think that you're going to come, and I think you're going to come. I said before it's going to be lethargic and a bit of a boring game, but I think if anyone's going to come and put on the style, I think it'll be Man United. I don't think it'll be Tottenham. So I do think you're going to come out looking for revenge. And I think if anyone's going to batter anyone, it's going to be you battering us. I think the best we can hope for is literally a draw or nicking it at the end.
Interesting. I've just got a couple of questions from the comment section quickly for you guys. They've all just gone up the screen now, so I can remember them. I'm just going to put them out there. Do you actually think you are bigger than Arsenal now? I know it's a question. I mean, setup-wise, looking at it from the outside, you would say Tottenham look like the bigger club. They look like they're more ambitious. I mean, where are you guys at with it now? You are the biggest in North London now. Is that true?
Yeah, we always have been. They're from South London anyway.
I know it's a silly question to ask. I kind of expected what the answer was going to be.
But at the end of the day, I hate this question, like who's a bigger club? Because how do you gauge who the bigger club is? Is it how many trophies you won? Is it how many money you got in the bank? Is it who's got the bigger stadium? I mean, who's got the bigger fan base? I mean,
who's a more attractive club to join?
You know what I mean? How do you judge who's a bigger club? But what I will say is we're definitely the better club as it stands right now, and we have been since probably Pochettino joined Tottenham.
And that's saying something considering where we are at the moment.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it. Next question is a random one, but he played for both teams. Did you ever rate Dimitar Berbatov when he was at Spurs?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, he was one of my favorite. Oh, he was unbelievable, man. I loved Berbatov so much. He was one of the classiest players I've ever seen in a Spurs shirt. His first touch was to die for. It was unbelievable. His link-up play with another legend we had, Robbie Keane, one of the best strike partnerships we've ever seen at White Hart Lane. And he was such a classy player. It's a shame how it ended for him forcing his way out and everything like that. But we were awful at the time. I don't blame him. We just finished 11th. Like, this guy was definitely had to be on a bigger stage than Tottenham at the time, and left a bit of a sour taste in our mouths at the time. But I think when we look back at Berbatov, I don't have anything but fond memories of him. He was such a classy player, scorer of great goals as well. Scored some real crackers, like he was amazing play on the volley, and his technique was second to none. I really was a massive fan of Berbatov.
Yeah, one of my favourite strikers at Spurs. He really was. Broke my heart when you lot signed him. It really did. Fergie going to pick him up from the airport and all that. I remember it breaking so clearly on the day he was odds on to join Man City, and then Fergie swooped him up from Manchester Airport, if I remember correctly. I mean, I was so bitter at the time. I was so bitter.
What made him more bitter was putting in Fraser Campbell in the deal as well.
Fraser Campbell, one of the worst deals in history. But I did kind of forgive him when he came out for Ledley's testimonial. So, look, I can look back at his time at Spurs very fondly for sure.
Oh, I mean, we've done that a couple of times, the team. Then days are gone, but I still remember Andy Cole coming in and we giving Newcastle Keith Gillespie just to try and soften the blow. It must have been horrible being a Newcastle fan that day. It really was. So I know where you're at with that. I can understand that. Last question before we touch on what we discussed yesterday in terms of the combined 11. I mean, how do you feel? It's a random one, I know, but how do you feel it's going for Poch at PSG? Do you feel like he is going to last there? I mean, he's struggling in the league right now, Poch. And I suppose within that question, you could say, would you rather have Poch back over Jose right now in terms of how it's going?
I mean, both of us were quite in agreement at the time that Poch should not have been sacked. Obviously, it was going sour at the end, but he deserved to rebuild that team with the work that he put in at this football club. Albeit, yes, I think he did want out at the end. I genuinely believe that. I think that if we would have won that Champions League final, I actually think he would have walked after the final. Because Daniel Levy just wasn't giving him what he wanted and what he deserved really at Tottenham. In terms of your question, how he's doing at PSG, I think that the remit for him is to win the Champions League. So I think if they have 1 year of not winning the league and they win the Champions League, I think that will be very, very successful to them because they're dying to win that Champions League.
Yeah, but obviously if they don't win the league or the Champions League, it's a bit of a disaster.
Yeah, I reckon he'll get sacked.
Yeah, well, you reckon what, even to the end of the season?
Yeah, I reckon if they don't win either, they'll get sacked. He'll get sacked this season.
I reckon they'll give him a bit
high
more
pressure
time.
at PSG.
I know, but I reckon they'll give him a bit more time. I think he's done extremely well in the Champions League, beating Barca 4-1, which at the time seemed like everyone could just brush over because Barca are in disarray. But actually, look at Barca now; they're going pretty well. So they're unbeaten, I think, in 2021. So actually, now looking back at that win, it's even more impressive, winning 4-1 at the Nou Camp and then beating Bayern 3-2 at the Allianz. Also, very, very impressive result. And he also has a bit of a tactical masterclass from him. So I think he's doing all right there. Now we all love Poch. We all love all the Spurs fans. We're big fans of Poch. So I hope he does well. And it's a shame it ended like it did when it did. But
yeah, and a message to Daniel Levy and Jose Mourinho after that comment Jose made last week saying same coach, different players. The exact same thing applies to Pochettino going out and beating Bayern Munich after we lost 7-2 2 years ago. Same coach, different players.
Yeah, that's good. Fair point. So I think it's pointless me asking this question. Is if it all went wrong for Jose this season, likewise for Poch, would you take Poch back in a heartbeat is the question.
Yeah, I'll take him back last year, mate. I absolutely love Pochettino. I mean, Pochettino, any manager that comes into Tottenham right now needs a rebuild of the squad, needs a rebuild of that defense, needs additions in probably every area of the pitch, to be honest. So I think that if he was to come back, he'd need to be backed. Otherwise, there's just no point.
It was interesting listening to Di Maria talk actually last night on an interview regarding Pochettino and how much more fitter they are and how much more work rate they're having to put in. That high press that Pochettino loves, it's quite clear. A player like Di Maria coming out, obviously, same nationality, he feels very comfortable with Pochettino, obviously. He's played more games than Neymar and Mbappe, apparently, since Poch has been in charge there, Di Maria. So, I mean, it's quite clear he has his way and his style, and it is easier on the eye, I think, than what we're both watching right now. I think that's why he's... Definitely. I think it's why he gets, I wouldn't say gets away with more, but it's easier to watch, isn't it? At the end of the day, you go to the weekend and you want to watch some decent football, ultimately. I know winning is important, but when it's the same every single week like it is now and you're still not winning, it's even harder to take. At least we had a little bit of something entertaining-wise to watch previously. So, yeah, I totally get that with Pochettino. I get why a lot of United fans wanted him in at United. Whenever
I couldn't believe that you didn't bring him in. I couldn't believe you didn't bring him in. Once you start Mourinho.
Yeah, anyone who watches my channel knows I've got quite a few people who come on who were avid Pochettino. Get him now when we've got a chance. We can't miss out on another one because we always seem to miss out when managers are available. And it's been one of them. I mean, you look at the list of managers we've had, and it's not the best of the best. You would say Mourinho, you thought, was the best of the best. But we don't hire the best in class at this football club, and that is what we're dealing with right now, I think, especially on the coaching staff as well, because there's not a lot of experience there for us. But that's for me to moan about on another video. Right now, we're going to touch on our team that me and Sim made, and I don't know if Ben's seen it or not. Our guys in the comment, let us know if you agree with this one. We're just going to roll it out. Oh, actually, you did a separate video on it, didn't you, on your channel and put it out? I've seen that.
We clipped it up, yeah.
Yeah. Guys, in the comments, let me know what you think. So, in goal, it was probably one of the harder debates we had. We went with Lloris in goal through sheer experience. It is between three goalkeepers, this one, strangely. You could have De Gea, Lloris, or Henderson right now, but I think because De Gea hadn't played much. Yeah, I forgot he's actually at your club. Has he played at all? Has he played any games?
Europa League, a couple of Europa League games, yeah.
Yeah, wow. Oh, he played in the one with the weird sized goals, didn't he, earlier on in the season?
Yeah, he did. Exactly.
That was that one, wasn't it? Yeah, I remember that. That's the only reason I remember it, because of that comment. But yeah, there's a lot of people saying De Gea over both. I didn't have that at all yesterday, but De Gea. There's a lot of De Gea lovers on my channel. We weren't happy when I was talking about him and Henderson the other day. Still love you all, don't worry. But we've got Lloris in goal.
I think it's very tight between all three, to be fair.
Yeah, I say this was probably the hardest part, actually, to pick the hardest position. So people saying De Gea over Henderson anyway on my side of it. On one Henderson there. Cheers, Paul. Thanks, mate. Thanks for backing me, finally. Onto defence. Left back, we went with Shaw because Reguilon, albeit having a great start to the season, I think you said Simi has injuries and just weaned off a little bit. I think Luke Shaw's had a very, very consistent season for us. Probably our most consistent player. I think that was an easy pick for us. Centre backs, mate. We had trouble with the centre backs because none are really that good. But we went with Alderweireld and Maguire, didn't we? In the end, I mean, Ben, would you have gone with anything different out of the combos there?
I think Maguire and Alderweireld's a very, very slow backline. Bloody hell!
Oh no.
To be honest, I might put Lindelof in there ahead of Toby, but look, I'm going to back my guy. I'm going to stick with Toby in there. But yeah, I think Maguire definitely gets in there, probably price tag alone. But yeah, Toby probably alongside him.
Yeah, I mean, it's Regulon. There's a lot.
Don Regulon.
Don Regulon. Love it. Right back, we went with Wan-Bissaka. I mean, Aurier's had a better season, but we all know the traits that he carries with him, and I think that was an easy one for us. Even though I did say and bring up Wan-Bissaka's bad points, and that is going forward mainly in his passing. You guys may see that at weekend. Just keep an eye out for that, because I've got an issue with that at the moment with him and his passing. I really have. But let me know what you guys think when you've watched him on Sunday. Probably have a good game now. Now I've cursed it, but I won't mind that anyway. Moving into midfield. We went with Pogba and Ndombele. This was controversial, probably more than any other position. This, because we had the slow back line, and then we had two predominantly forward-thinking midfielders in front of them in Pogba and Ndombele.
Yeah.
Would you have been more pragmatic, Ben? Let me know in the comments as well, guys, who you would have put as your two holding midfielders. Would you have picked anything different?
I might have gone with Højbjerg and Pogba, or Højbjerg and Ndombele. I think Højbjerg probably does need to be in there. I mean, the season he's had has been brilliant. The job he does for the team is completely different to what Ndombele and Pogba can do. I think if you have him there protecting the defence, and then one of Ndombele and Pogba to be a box-to-box kind of next to him, I think that would be perfect.
Yeah, I mean, it was a tough one. McFred over Pogba. Someone says in the comment, oh man, McFred, I tell you.
I really rate McTominay though. I think McTominay is top class player.
You know what? I did a YouTube short on when I had I forgot his Riz from Liverpool Day Trippers TV on my channel, and he said exactly the same thing. And my McTominay video blew up because of that subject, because it's so split. A lot of opposition fans rate McTominay. A lot of United fans cannot stand him.
Really?
It is weird. Yeah, you would not believe. But some people cannot stomach McTominay at all. I mean, I think he's a good squad player. That's where I'm at with McTominay. I think you need that type of player in your squad. I think Jose even loved him. I think he was Jose's dyer at one time, because he was playing him at centre-back. He was playing him everywhere. So I think he's a good squad player, but it's interesting you should say that again, Ben, there, because a lot of opposition fans say it more than actual United fans with McTominay. It's a weird one. It really is, but he's not getting into our holding midfield anyway for this one. The picks up front, we went with Bruno just in front of the forwards. I think that was an easy one.
Yeah.
Then it got interesting. Obviously, Harry Kane picks himself in the middle. We didn't even have a discussion on that. That was the easiest one. Then we had a problem because we ended up switching Rashford to the right just so we could get Son in on the left, because both very, very similar in terms of impact this season. Rashford hit his 20th goal. He's had about 14 assists. I think Son's very, very close to him. 18 and about 9 assists in the league or something you said yesterday, Sim, won it? I mean, I love Son.
18 on competition, yeah.
Would you have changed that at all? Looking back at it, Sim, as well. I know a lot of people came back on your comments saying you was being too nice yesterday. So, guys, that front three, would you go any other way? Obviously, Kane stays in the middle. I'm not even going to debate that. I think he's top 3 in the world at the moment, myself. But on the right, would you have changed it? On the left,
you got to find a way to fit in both Son and Rashford. I mean, you have to. There's no other player. There's no other players on the wings that deserve to be in that team. I know you guys were talking about Gareth Bale yesterday, but he doesn't deserve to get in that team. No chance. Not ahead of Rashford or Son. So I think you guys got it spot on yesterday with that front three: Kane, Son, and Rashford.
That is quite scary, actually. That when you think about it, that is a
very scary front line.
And I think you got Martial, but I really don't rate Martial. I mean, a few years ago when he was linked with Spurs, I was really excited. Maybe we can get that over the line, but he can't seem to finish his dinner this season, can he?
Last season he was pretty strong, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, 23 goals, leading goal scorer last season. He's fallen off a cliff this season. It's been a nightmare. And it all started against you boys when he had that petulant little slap out at Lamella. And you know what, guys? It's got worse from that day for Martial this season. He just had a horrible season. I don't know why he's just fallen so much, because he was our best player last year by a country mile. And he's just fallen to pieces. I don't know what's happened. So, again, a lot of fans would jump on that and say that's all his fault. He can't handle him. Like I said, Greenwood's had a bit of an iffy season as well. But this is it. When you haven't got consistent or what looks like a style of play, all these questions come out, blaming the manager, blaming the coaching staff, things going on behind the scenes, like you guys said there, the unrest, can't make it work. But at the end of the day, all will be said and done.
You know who I think might get into this team is Jesse Lingard, Lingardinho. He's having a brilliant season.
Oh, no. You know what, mate? He's got more goals this season than Martial. He's only played about 6 games.
Oh my God.
That's everything you need to know.
What's happened to him?
Oh, mate, you know what? He's lived his whole life as a United player. From a young little kid, we've seen all the pictures. All he knows is United. I think he's just gone away to a different environment with a bit less pressure, and he's just enjoying his football again. I just think what comes with United, and we see players just completely fall apart playing for us, he's just, the pressure's gone, and he's just enjoying himself. And I think when Lingard's happy and he's playing constantly in the position that he likes to play and not being moved from one side to another just to fit in, I think it works for him. And you know what? That's why Southgate's put him straight back in that England squad. 5 games, he's back in instantly. Yeah. It's crazy.
It's his best form since Mourinho, right?
Yeah. Would you guys take him if he was there for the summer?
Well, we said no.
We were clowning on those. We were clowning on those reports a few months ago when we were linked with him. But now I'll take him in a heartbeat. I'll tell you that.
I mean, he had his best season ever under Jose Mourinho. It works. I mean, United fans are thinking, should we maybe part X him for a Declan Rice for a position we really need? Should we try and take advantage of the situation?
Yeah, you probably should.
Yeah, and then people are thinking he's going to end up going to Chelsea. Obviously, the Chelsea links, Mason Mount and all that stuff.
He gets into your team over Martial right now, I reckon.
Lingard probably would, yeah. He would, crazily. But Ollie's very strict with his position. Like Sim said just today, he called it straight away. You guys play a 4-2-3-1 without even thinking. And that's from another opposition fan. Yeah. And he's very rigid with it. With Bruno playing every single game, Lingard doesn't fit. It's as simple as that. He's better in a number 10. He's brilliant in a number 10 when he's on his day, Lingard, but he's never going to play it at United. And I think that's why Ole gets the criticism he does. He won't change the formation to maybe put that sort of difference in there. He's too rigid. And that's what he's going to have to deal with, Ole, with a critique, because he just won't do it. It's crazy. But that's it, guys. I mean, that is it for today, people. We're done. That's flown by. That's my lunchtime.
I did fly by.
Fly, absolutely brilliant. Guys, really appreciate you coming on, fellas. And I'm hoping I'm going to be able to meet up with you one day when we do get back to football normally and we can do something outside the stadium and it's all proper again, guys. I'm really looking forward to it now.
Definitely.
Signs are looking good for next season. I'm crossing everything right now. But guys, do go over and follow the guys, Ben and Sim, there on We Are Tottenham TV. There is a brilliant channel. The guys are smashing it big time.
Thanks,
so do give them a follow over there and watch their content. It is brilliant. And that's it, guys. As always, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. The link is just there in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen for the subscribe button. Thank you so much. Give the video a like on your way out, guys. They are free, as always. They do help the channel. All this support is brilliant for the channel. For now, people, take care. Enjoy your weekend. Hopefully, we can look forward to a decent game at weekend. Well,
come on, you Spurs.